I suppose I need to get the thing up. Might help me a little bit. I don't even have it up yet. We're already live and I don't even have it up yet. That's fine. Oh, I lost it. Where'd it go?
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh. I don't know what's something on my screen there. I'm gonna have to clean my screens. All right. We are live.
I don't know what's
And
going
yeah. All right. We are live. All right. So
Did we make it?
we made it. We made it. We made it through the weekend, and we're off to our next start. So first off, for those who have not seen the show before, my name is CJ. I have CJ's Coins and Crafts. This is Blues. He has Blues coins. So what we do is we go through and have a live show on Monday nights where we talk about different coin topics. This is something that I mean, we had kind of talked about and kind of thought about something that we would like to do with both like the history of coins and digging into topics to bring out to the community because there's not a lot of resources for coin history and such out there. So we thought that we would do it. So this week's topic is going to be a multi-part. I'm going to learn how to talk tonight. Topic, and this happens to be exonumia. So exonumia is basically a collection of a number of different things that can include tokens and other types of coins. Basically,
over here.
basically a lot of different things that don't include the standard numismatic issues that are issued through the U.S. government. So we're going to be talking about a number of different topics, and again, this is going to be a multi-part series. Not sure if it's going to be 2 parts or 3 parts, but we're gonna go with it, and we're gonna see what happens. Um, so the exonumia is our pneumatic. They're pneumatic. Remember that pneumatic, numismatic items other than the government minted coins and paper money. These can include good 4 tokens, badges, counterstamp coins, elongated cents, elongated coins, encased coins, souvenir medallions, tags, wooden nickels, and all kinds of other types of coins and coin related material. So what we did is we went through and just kind of picked out some of the topics that we thought that you guys would like to hear. Again, this is going to be a multi-part, so in no way is this initial or first episode of this series going to be all inclusive. But we kind of picked out a couple of ones that we thought were going to be have some good history behind them and have some good information. So, would you like to say anything before I start?
Oh goodness. It's this show that we're doing and the upcoming shows on numismatic
Yeah, nice.
is definitely going to be interesting. I mean, there is a lot of back history going through all of this, and then trying to weed everything out because a lot of stuff just jumps around from company to company to company until one basic company just kind of took over the majority of it. So it has been an experience and an eye opener trying to figure out, okay, this company was before this one, but it was only 2 months. So it's been probably more of a headache than anything, but always glad and proud to help with these shows and put these things together to get this information across about the history of coins. So, CJ, it's always a pleasure being here with you. So, thank you
Yeah,
for
man. I totally appreciate it. I really enjoy doing the histories behind these shows, behind these coins. Um, all of those things. That's just I really enjoy it. There's so many things that you learn. That I learned through going through the commemorative series that I have, and just digging into some of the history behind these coins or where these things came from, like that most people have no idea or have not known because it's 2 or 3 layers deep. So, all
oh,
right.
and
So
the other good news is the new computer came in.
yes. So for those that don't know, I built a computer for Blues because his other one is as ancient as the crust of the earth, and so I built him a new computer that's way faster, and so he just got it today, and he's got it working. So that's what he's streaming on tonight.
Super excited. I could actually have more than one tab open at a time and do something.
Right. All right. So the first topic the first section item that we're going to talk about is elongated coins. So these are generally seen as either pressed or smashed pennies, although there are a number of different coins that also have been involved in the elongation process. The first elongated coins were created in, I'm sorry, the first elongated coins in the US were created at the World's Columbian Exposition in 1892 and 1893 in Chicago, Illinois. The earliest elongated cent coin designer on record is Charles Dam, who created the design for the elongated coins available at the 1901 Pan American Exposition in Buffalo, New York. Generally speaking, the production of elongated coins can be divided into 3 classes. The first class is referred to as the oldies. The oldies cover a time span between 1893 and goes through 1965. The second class is the modern elongateds, which cover the years from 1965 to 1985. And there's a specific reason for that. After the introduction of commercial standalone elongation machines or elongated machines came into the marketplace in 1988, the third category, that is known as the contemporary elongateds, started to the present day. So there are 3 classes: are oldies, modern, and contemporary. And the biggest change between the contemporary and the modern is the introduction of a number of machines. So an early and common method of coin elongation was leaving pennies on railroad tracks to smash them. And depending on who you are that watch this, you probably have done this. Yep, facts. The force causes a form of deformation, and it's called plastic deformation, that flattens and stretches it into an oval. Some early railroad flattened cents were then hand engraved with the date and location. Modern elongated coins are created by inserting a standard small denomination into a small rolling mill consisting of 2 steel rollers pressed against each other with significant force to deform the coin. So a lot of the ones that you'll see are pennies because they're generally easier to press, and it only does 1 cent with different costs. One of the rollers, called the die, is engraved with a design that imprints a new image into the metal as the coin passes through the rollers. Some of these machines are hand operated crank style, while others are completely automatic. And it is really common to find a pressed penny machine in any kind of tourism hub, amusement parks, either natural or man-made landmarks, even to the point where there is a website and it's called pennypresses.net that actually has a map of over 3,300 machines currently used across the United States. So if you guys wanted to check that out, pennypresses.net, and you can go into all of the different machines. I've actually taken a look at it. It's actually really neat because it shows what kind of machine, what kind of design that it has, and can give you a bunch of other details in it. So it's really kind of a cool thing. And that is kind of a quick tour on elongated coins.
Very cool. Yeah, when I was doing the research on elongated, I was reading all this information and my head just went
right.
I'm like, what's the next subject I could work on?
and the cool thing is that I had seen the elongated machines. It was just the crank style in some of the areas that I've been in, and it's always been kind of interesting. As far as legality, because that question has come up. Legality, the modification of pennies in this method is 100% legal. Just put it out there.
Oh, okay.
It is 100% legal because you wouldn't aren't. It is one for entertainment purposes or for education purposes, and it is not. You're not misrepresenting the penny in a different form. So, if the fact that it flattens it and it creates its own design, that's what makes it legal.
Yeah, the latest one I've seen is either in Bass Pro or Cabela's. They have the machine in there, and they basically just do what they're known for. Um, you get one that's just has for hunting, one just for fish for the fishing part. So these machines can still be found.
All
But
over.
as CJ said, they're pretty readily available out there if you just look for them and hit some of the known spots or high percentage areas to find them. Very cool.
You want to do hobo?
Yeah, hobo nickels. I kind of like the hobo nickels. So this one's kind of a little dear to the heart for me a little bit here. So when the Buffalo nickel was introduced in 1913, it became popular among coin engravers. The large, thick profile of the Native American head gave artists a large template to work and to allow for finer details. The, the sculptured art form from these the, the sculptured art form was popular because of the low cost and profitability.
Portability.
Yeah, thanks. I appreciate that. The the medium was um, popular with the hobos, hence the name the hobo nickel. There are three periods of hobo nickels that are categorized. Classic old hobo nickels. These are found in between 1913 and 1940. Later hobo nickels from 1940 to 1980. And the modern hobo nickel started in 1980. During the classic era of hobo nickels, more 1913 dated nickels were used than any other pre 1930 dated coins as base coins. Though many artists made hobos in the 1910s and the 1920s, Beltram
Bertram Weigand.
Wigand. Wow.
I know that's
That's a
fair.
mouthful.
That's a hard one.
Yes. Known as Bert and George Washington Hughes, known as Bo, become two of the most popular engravers in hobo nickels. Later, the later old hobo nickels were a transitional period for hobo nickels engravers as buffalo nickels were gradually replaced with the Jefferson nickel. New engravers came along, and the styles of engraving became even more modern. Even the method of carving the coins have evolved with technology. And new technology used power engravers, vibrating tools, and felt markers to add color to the hair. Modern area of hobo nickels use coins that were altered during punching and carving of the profile. The area behind the head is usually rough from dressing from the old tools during this area. A kind of standard design of the hobo nickels was created with a derby and beard.
Derby is a hat.
Derby's the hat. Okay.
Yep.
See?
Yeah, it's a type of hat.
It's a
It's
type.
like it's rounded with kind of a brim, and it's called a derby.
Okay. See, I'm not that old, so I don't know.
Oof.
Wow.
Oh, that,
You knew it, so you must be old.
yeah.
This came along with many modern subjects such as occupations, famous people like Uncle Sam and Albert Einstein, hippies, and others. A major event in the early 1980s, which is used at a finite transition from the times of old to modern hobo nickels. A publication of a series of articles by numismatics.
Numismatist. Yeah,
Oh,
you better
that
put 'em on.
helps a lot. By numismatist Del Romine,
Romines, I think.
Romines. And it don't look like Romines.
That's what it looks like to me.
Yeah, well, I'm old. I don't know.
It could be Romanesque too. I don't know.
Romanesque. um, for the subject of the hobo nickels, he published a book in 1982, which was centered around Bo and his carvings. This event resulted in many new artists coming into the field, using the book to copy Bo's artwork from the illustrations, even using Bo's initials in the design. Four of the most known engravers, those creating superior carvings, are Sonny Carpenter, Bill Jameson, Ron Landis, and
Arturo Del Favero.
Del Fabro. Okay, Chico de Antoro.
Cinco
de Toro. Man, I'm learning like Spanish and stuff tonight. About 100,000 classic hobo nickels are believed to have been created from 1913 to 1980. Modern artists have created and continue to create altered nickels in such large quantities that the number of modern carvings is expected to surpass that of the classic quantities.
So, kind of a short of what it's saying is that more 1913 coins were turned into hobo nickels than any other date and prior to the 1930s. The fact that that you have some of the original, so Bo and Bert, of the original carvings that had this book that came out on them, which created a lot of copycats. And something that, especially when I was reading into some of the backstory on the hobo nickels, as I have like 3 tabs still open from it, is that that basically with that book that came out, it really challenged what the status quo on for hobo nickels, and they almost became really kind of standardized, so that it's not like, hey, you saw hobo nickel, you could tell what creator it was from. They were basically kind of all of the same, which really kind of defeated like the artwork part of the hobo nickel. So it wasn't until some of the later designers that came out, Sonny Carpenter, Bill Jameson, Ron Landis, and Arturo Del Favero, that basically stepped up the engraving carving game for hobo nickels and really had like significant pieces of art that came out. So while looking through some of the details behind this, the number of pieces that came out from these four designers, they averaged between like 20 and 50-ish per year versus the overall arcing designs that were really, really basic, with basically just a beard and the derby, that had several thousand of them come out. So between, I think it's like 12, between 12 and 25, I think, from each of the individual artists. So you can tell that like they really stepped up the standard and the expectation of what the true like artwork form of the hobo nickel was.
Now, with the hobo nickel is basically just entailing the hand engraving of them, especially during the classic period.
Yeah.
So trench art would fall into that category.
Yes. Yes, I would say so, because it's basically it's using the available tool, available implements to carve. So it could be any number of things. So, all right. The next section is love tokens. So love tokens is kind of a really interesting thing. I will be 100% honest, and I did not do this category justice. I will probably end up writing more about this, because I think there is more to be said on this, but I at least wanted to get it in here and just cover some of the kind of the core pieces from it. So love tokens are coins that have been smoothed flat on one or both sides and then hand engraved. Engravings are mostly common initials of the giver of the coin, which I originally thought that it was the opposite, that it was actually the receiver of the coin who had their initials on there. Names and dates were also popular, with sayings and pictures remaining most scarce. Some love tokens have been embellished even further with stones, enamel, or cutouts. There are two basic requirements for a love token. Number one is the engraving must be on a legitimate coin. And the second part is that the engraving must be done by hand. Although traditionally believed that these coins were given to a significant other or lover, the sentiment went beyond those boundaries, extending to family members as well as friends. And that was something that I didn't know when I was doing the research on this. Is I thought that it was, again, like the traditional belief that love tokens were given in a very, very small conceptual space, right? But it seems like, reading through it, that was only one facet of love tokens, and I thought that was really cool. Engravings were done on practically all denomination of coins, with the Liberty seated dime setting itself as the most popular choice of base coin. A few reasons are believed why these were chosen. Was silver was a softer metal and easier to engrave than nickel, and it was more precious than a lowly copper cent. So you can find a lot of different love tokens out there. Obviously, dimes are going to be on there quite a bit. But there are more than just basic initials that are on love tokens. They can be really embellished with a lot of extra engraving. I mean, you can really see the full spectrum of how much art and how much effort were put into these different love tokens. So, really, a lot of things that I didn't know or I didn't quite understand. And yeah, I thought it was really interesting. You want me to do sales tax?
Yeah, the sales tax tokens.
Do you want me to do them since you're doing lucky?
It doesn't matter.
Okay, I'll take it. So the next section is sales tax tokens. These are commonly found in a number of different areas, and in fact, you can honestly find these a lot in foreign coin mixed lots because they're not considered true currency. These are definitely a type of coin or something that resembles a coin that really falls squarely under the exonumia category. So sales tax tokens, these were used as fractional cent devices to pay sales tax on very, very small purchases during the Great Depression. And there was only 12 states that had issued these tax tokens, and they were Alabama, Arizona, Colorado, Illinois, Kansas, Louisiana, Mississippi, Missouri, New Mexico, Oklahoma, Utah, and Washington. The tokens were generally regarded as a nuisance by consumers, shocking, and were replaced with a bracket system of tax collection, which averaged out the small sales tax. And by the end of 1930s, the token use was eliminated from most of the issuing states, except for Missouri, where it continued on late into the 1940s. So shout out to Missouri for not wanting to change. The valuations of these tokens were represented in tenths of 1 cent or mils. So a lot of the different denominations that you'll find on tax tokens. I'm actually looking on my desk right now because I probably have one. I'll look at that. What is this? Nope, that's a different one. I thought for sure I had one on my desk, which I probably do. So common denominations that you're going to find on the tax tokens is 1, 5, and 10. You might see some other 20s or anything out there, but generally it's 1, 5, and 10. And some of them just might be different sizes without any denominations being on them. But if they have any kind of number, then that's how they're read out is 1/10 of a cent for one or by the mills.
Cool stuff. Yeah, I got small collection of ones from Oklahoma that I've picked up and found or dug up with the metal detector. So it's always neat when you pull one out of the ground and you don't know what it is because it's just a rust.
It's just a mess of rust.
It's just round rust. So, the lucky penny, the lucky penny or aluminum encased coins are basically advertising exonumia. It can be rewarding and a fun hobby trying to collect over the 650 different known examples, with most being made in the late 40s to early 60s by Earl Frankhauser. Uh, but we do need to go back in time to the first known lucky penny or encased cent, all the way back to the Buffalo, New York, with the Pan American Expo of 1901. It had a 4-leaf clover as a design and was sold as souvenirs. The making of the encased coin traditionally was done with cents in an aluminum ring or a washer. Um, Not the washers that you get like at the hardware store. They actually used aluminum rings as washers back in the day, so both terms kind of fit for the same thing. Um, with the coin in the center of the washer, the hammer die strikes the anvil die, and the coin encased within the washer and locks it into place. Also, during this stamping, a model or legend was added. Um, you can do all kinds of designs, topics, and sayings on them. Some of the ones you will come across are from like car companies, the insurance salesman, gas stations was a really big one. The Boy Scouts did a lot of the lucky pennies, and the list is pretty much endless. Um, we'll be going over more of the lucky pennies in later shows because there's a lot of information out there. But just want to kind of just give you a little heads up, a little teaser about them. A lot of good history on the lucky penny. So there'll be more to come on that in later shows.
I got one more picture to put up for it.
Well,
Sorry, my picture skills are a little bit lacking
yeah, well,
right now.
I'm just having problems over here tonight with this chair.
Okay, there's your other picture.
Ah, there it is.
So that's your horseshoe one, and the one that I was showing just before that was the other ones for the Pan American Expo.
Yeah. That Indian headset looks pretty new too.
Oh, I know. Well, it's 1901, so it's the right time period.
It's the right time period.
But also, I kind of want it.
It's kind of like, look, there's an RPD on it.
I can see one in the neck, all the way over here. I'm just saying.
It's like a sore thumb. So, yeah, Exonumia stuff is pretty exciting aspect of getting into the collecting.
So, well, and it's especially for those types of collectors that are going after subject matter. Then like that's where this crosses, like kind of crosses the threshold outside of just what coins were actually minted. So the 1892 1893 World's Columbian Exposition, right? Like there's so-called dollars, which are exonumia technically. There's the actual half dollars that were created that were by the US mint, and then there's like another like 40 pages of so-called dollars, medals, and tokens that came out of just that one that all fall under exonumia. So if you were a subject collector and you were trying to build a collection of things from one of the world expositions, one of the international expos, one of the world's fairs, anything like that, there's a lot of subject matter out there outside of just what main US created coinage or commemorative issues come out of that. You know, there's whole bunches of other medals and tokens and lucky pennies and elongated cents. Like there's all of these things, and the whole purpose behind them was to, you know, just like what it is now, and that's to draw people in and to have them basically have a memento or a created memory from that event.
Mm-hmm. The just a quick note, we're talking about the hobo nickels and how John Landis was part of the group. of like the four.
Before known.
He's him and his team still produce the hobo nickels. They also do special. They also make their own dyes and produce um, non-U.S. legal tender coins.
Oh, nice.
So um, I actually got one of his nickels that he did.
Oh yeah.
So
one of his hobo nickels, or
no, one of his other ones were, I don't know, maybe this book. No, I know it's not that book.
it's in a book on a shelf, in a room, in a house.
It is this book right here. I still got it sealed. I didn't want to take it out of its seal.
Okay. Oh, that's cool. Oh, that's really cool, man.
Yep. And then inside has the write-up on it and everything like that. He only produces so many of these off of his pressing, so
Right. So it literally becomes like low mintage, basically, and also the fact that since it's private issue, like it is 100% Exonumia.
Yeah.
Because it's like coin related, but it's not a coin by itself.
I'd like to have another one to really like take it out and inspect it and look underneath the scope and look at the detail and stuff, but I can't.
You can't open it.
I can't open it. I can't. I mean, I want to so bad, but I can't. I have a feeling I'm just going to go click and 66% of the value is gone.
Yeah, that's fair. I can kind of understand that.
There's a good chance that there is air in there from the machine stuck in that package. So,
jeez.
Yeah, he actually, Landis, he actually has a website where you could go through and you could order stuff. He has a big selection of things that you could go through and order.
Oh, there goes my bank account.
Yep.
And it's gone.
Yep, there goes that dividend check you just got.
Yeah, it's gone. It's already spent.
Yep. So you're welcome for that.
Yeah. Is there anything else that you wanted to tack onto this? This is going to be a shorter show just because this is going to be a multi-part show. So
no, I think I mean, got some I guess considered little teasers of what's coming up, and so
I got so-called dollars that I have a whole thing about. I mean, I've got a whole book about so-called dollars, and this is just volume 1 of this thing. Like, look, it even says volume 1.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, I've got a whole thing on so-called dollars that I'm working on for this. Counterstamp coins. I've got a whole thing on counterstamp coins. There's so many things on the counterstamp, like, oh buddy. Counterstamp is going to be a whirlwind of the other things that are going to come up are oh geez, I was just thinking about it. Civil War coins, Civil War tokens, like hard times tokens and that kind of stuff. That falls under Exonumia because they were privately minted coins. So that technically falls under Exonumia, and it's a whole thing by itself. Just with the lead up to the Civil War and everybody hoarding all of the standard issue coinage, there were shops that had to mint their own coins that drove business to their shops, and not a lot of shops could afford it. But And then
Yeah.
wooden nickels. I think wooden nickels is going to be good too.
Yes, wooden nickels is going to be another good one. So there's just some teasers coming up. Not sure how many shows we're going to get out of all of this. So there is a good list of stuff we do want to talk about. So
For sure.
for sure.
All right. With that said, this is going to be a shorter show. Normally we have it about an hour. This one's only standing about 40 minutes. So I would like to thank everybody for coming in to watch, whether you watched it live or you watched it later on. I do appreciate you coming in and visiting and checking out the show. If you guys like this show, please hit the like button. If you're not already subscribed, please hit the subscribe button. Make sure and check out. I'm gonna point the right way. Check out my buddy over here, Blues Coins. He's got some really good shows on his videos on his channel that that also talk about the different ways to grade and based off of wear patterns on coins. He put together some shows a few years back. They're still excellent videos. So please check them out and make sure you guys hit the bell. Excuse me. To be notified when we go live or when I upload new videos. And we'll see you guys next time.
Thanks, everyone.